Welcome to Zach D TV, the place for interesting news from around the net. In today's episode, we're going to look at the Lightning motorcycle, LS2, ? R. Then an electric dragster going for the top fuel guys. That's better than 300 miles an hour. We're going to wrap up with Faraday Futures, new plans. And remember, if you want more interesting news 7 days a week, go ahead and click that subscribe button right over here. Alright, let's get into this. A while back, Lightning Motorcycles, they are a manufacturer of completely electric motorcycles, released their LS218. They got the name for that bike because it was able to achieve 218 miles an hour at the Bonneville salt flats. That made it the fastest production bike, period. And if you wanted one, you can go buy one for in the $30,000 range. Well, not long after that, Kawasaki drug out their H2R and beat that record. They were able to achieve 220 miles an hour. I know they didn't beat it by much, and technically that's a track-only bike, but it still falls into a comparative category. People like to say, oh, it's not as fast as the H2R. Well, Lightning's CEO, Richard Hatfield, did not like the sound of that. So he devised the idea to come up with the LS2 ? R. Because you know, in superbike territory, you put an R at the end of the name, it's a faster bike. And from the looks of it, he may have it. According to Hatfield, this new R bike makes around 250 horsepower from its electric motor. They believe that by Saturday, when they plan on running Bonneville again, that they'll be closer to the 300 horsepower mark with this motorcycle. And for any of us who really only have knowledge of internal combustion engines, that's a lot of horsepower to pull out in a very, very, very short amount of time. Kind of makes you wonder how they're going to do it. The amazing thing is, they're using the same motor. The only thing that changes in this is the electronics package and the battery. They say the motor they're running is good for over 300 horse, and all they have to do is feed it more amperage quicker. They have had this bike out for some testing, and all the results are great. In fact, if you crack the throttle at 190 miles an hour, it will break the back tire loose. How's that for torque? I couldn't even imagine riding one of these things. It sounds scary to me. And in fact, according to Hatfield, you can't even get on full throttle until above 94 miles an hour. Or again, you're just going to break that back tire loose and smoke it. These numbers are just amazing to me. They do plan on making this consumer friendly once they set their new world record, if all goes well. Which, by the way, they think is going to be over 230 miles an hour. And according to Hatfield, they plan on doing the same thing that major manufacturers do, which is make it available with all the best parts and charge twice as much for it. When asked if that means this is a $70,000 super bike, he said, I think so, yeah, for a couple reasons. One is it needs to be a lot more profitable because it's going to be a lot more. Well, not everyone should have a bike like that. I can't agree with him more, but I also hope that one day I get to throw my legs over something that insane. For my next story, we are going to stick with crazy speeds out of an electric vehicle. Right now, Top Fuel drag racing belongs to Top Fuel guys. You're running a 10,000 horsepower motor that sucks down more than 80 gallons per mile of the high-end nitromethane fuel. These things can hit 330 miles an hour in a quarter mile and do that in just 4.5 seconds. This is the pinnacle of motor performance. Basically, these drivers are sitting on a bomb and seeing how fast they can get it down a track. And that's where an Australian company comes in. Top EV Racing wants to challenge these big boys at their own game with electricity. Currently, the world speed record for an electric drag car is 185 miles per hour on a quarter mile. Ridiculously fast, but not even close to what the top guys are running. Well, Michael Fragomeni plans to jump into that top division and break several world records along the way. The problem they're running into here, though, is no one has done this before. Yeah, you can go out, build a car out of off-the-shelf components, and go pretty fast. It'd be something to do. Well, he and his team have spent the last 7 years designing from the ground up their own rail car. It's looking at a 1,000 volt, 5,000 horsepower motor, puts down 17,000 pound-feet of torque from the word go. And they believe this is going to allow them to outrun their competition. And so far, they have backing from the biggest players in Australian drag racing. In fact, the Australia National Drag Racing Association has allowed them, once they complete all their safety checks and get certified and everything like that, to run right alongside the Top Fuel guys. According to Fragomeni, they figure this will be in testing within the next year, so we might even see it on the circuit for next year's races. They're planning on a top speed of around 380 miles an hour, while keeping it within Top Fuel restrictions. They're staying with the minimal weight, all these other rules, so that way they are truly competing on the same level with the big guys, only using a different motor setup. He says they need some testing yet, but they figure their first go, they're going to start right off breaking world records. And for the high hopes they have, they're going to have to. And of course, they want to take their time, check this thing out step by step by step by step, and make sure everything is right. Because like Fragamoni said, we're talking about enough potential power mounted within a foot behind my head to run a whole suburb of houses with lights and appliances switched on. We're looking at some huge power, hoping to put down some huge numbers. I can't wait to see this thing in action. And to wrap this up, let's talk about more realistic electric cars. Faraday Future just announced they have acquired their plant and they're going to go into production on their FF91. For those of you who don't know, Faraday Future is an electric car manufacturer who has been looking for its home. They keep putting out concepts, but they can't quite get into production. They keep running into little setbacks after little setbacks, but it finally looks like they're going to put out a competitor for Tesla's Model X. Which to me, Faraday's products are just better looking. Like here is the FF91. Nice interior, nice body lines, just a good looking vehicle. They also have a supercar concept, the FF0. Thing is a single seater, work of art. But yeah, it looks like they're getting ready to go into production. They're currently refitting this former Pirelli plant in Northern California. And as soon as they're done there, it won't be long until we see these on the road. And personally, even though I'm a big fan of Elon Musk, I think I like the styling on the Faraday better than I do the Teslas. And on that note, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for stopping in. Keep in mind, I do this 5 days a week. I do a live stream on Saturday and a short on Sunday. So make sure to stop back in and check me out. So until I see you again, have fun and be safe.